So, hello and welcome back to my back garden. So this is a spring update. So we're late spring now, we're coming up at the end of May and the garden has just taken off. If you haven't seen my earlier video right at the beginning of the year, then I'll have a link for that in the description below. And you can see how much has changed, because an awful lot has changed. I'm beginning to start thinking how to move things around, how to plant things and how to design things according to some more basic permaculture principles. So, gardens tour. So we start over here. So we're at the patio. This is right outside the back door, and it's gone over to bedding plants a bit more. We've got some rhubarb, we've got quite a few pansies and so on the side. I don't really have much to do with those. And we've also got some bay tree cuttings that we're optimistically trying to propagate. So we go down there. Our blueberry unfortunately has taken a turn for the worst. So it could be any multitude of things. So we're seeing if we can revive it over here. Over here we've got some mint and some lemon balm there. Then as we go down the path, here we have bluebells. This is a surprise because I don't remember us having bluebells ever in the garden. But I think because the hazel tree now is gone, lopped off the top there, there's an awful lot more light getting down into the path here. We've even got another little hazel tree growing, as well as a tayberry down the side. So this is our cherry tree here. It's a massive blossoms early in spring. Now we've got little cherries, so we've got high hopes for those. Aquilegia has taken over this tire and is just absolutely stunning. Beautiful. And this one has become the home of the tayberry, to the exclusion of just about everything else. We've got a little bay tree right at the back there, some bedding plants at the front. As you can see, we've got some saxifrage and some more bay propagating on there. Now I've moved these planters from the back there, so they're now standing either side of the stairs. These had the daffodils and the tulips. As we turn over to the left, this is where I've done quite a bit of changing around, and this is a work in progress. Basically what I'm creating is a path down the side of the hedge here, where I can store all of the compost bins, the worm farm, and some new water butts that we've got now. Pick them up quite cheaply at Aldi. We'll have to see whether they do any good. But basically the idea is to keep moving the path down that way till we get rid of the trampoline and the old shed there, move that shed across, and then basically have a all-weather passageway down the side here. So we don't have to go out into the grass when it gets wetter in winter and muddier, so we can just stick to the side. Plus all of this space here is just really useless for growing anything, because it's in deep shade for 99% of the day, barely gets any sun. I'm surprised anything grows at all down here. So we're making best use of this area, as well as being conveniently located just behind the back door, so we can take compost and so on out easily enough. And then we've got our nettle patch next to it. I harvested a bit of that and I've made some nettle tea, and those have gone on the bed this morning. So hopefully they'll give a bit of boost of nutrients when they're needed. Over here, this is completely new. It's our raised bed planter, and we've basically designated it as a herb garden. So once again, I have zone 1 coming down from the door. We've got thyme. This is lavender, I think. Got rosemary, different thyme. I think this is thyme oro, yeah. Got a curry plant, and I've also planted some gourd squash in between, and some little chives on the side that I just had left over. I don't appear to be doing that well though. And heading back to the stairs, if you remember video from before, this was pretty much just barren, and it is really taken off. I've got all sorts of budding plants. We've got a red currant coming out of the top, and just lovely. Black currants that we bought, they just haven't taken off. The weeds in the pot have, but black currants themselves just really not showing very many signs of life. However, the red currants have been great, and they're doing really well. Behind here, I've got some mint. I made some mint tea with that yesterday. Put it in a big jug in the fridge, and that'll be a cool drink as it starts getting warmer now. Here we've got some savoury, thyme, and this is a recent plant out, so it's lupine, but it's being attacked a bit there, so I hope it'll survive. The top leaves are looking quite healthy. Some marjoram that used to be inside, but it was just drying out in the conservatory, so watered it now and hopefully it'll dry out a bit more. Go. Then down here we've also got Pieris, which has just finished flowering now. You can see the flower stems are still on the side there, and a few of the flowers just left on the edge there. Sorry, I've got the camera angle right. So more red currants, so on, and aren't these beautiful? Can't remember what these are. No. Pelargonium grandiflorum. That doesn't tell me very much at all, but they're just stunning. Then, as I went under it but didn't show you properly, we've got elder growing over the top of the path here, and these will be used for elderflower cordial later on in the year. So you've already got this bit flowering over here, so high hopes for that. And this is possibly the most stunning change. Just look back to the video before, and this will have been just completely empty and barren, like we had just dropped a bomb on it. There was nothing growing there, but it's just come to life. It's so green, and we've got all the red currants growing on the bushes here, masses and masses and masses. If I work my way down this way, right at the edge here, we've got raspberry canes there, and we've got a hazel growing in the middle of nowhere, and then this is the part we've kind of left to grow wild here, but absolutely stunning biodiversity. We've got bramble, cleavers, we've got dandelion, what else we've got? Horsetail at the back there. We've got the old tree that used to be at the side there, I'm not sure what it is. We've got ivy, and then right at the back there we've got, go a bit closer, we've got gooseberries, and those are doing quite well. Okay, I'll have to do a video on cleavers or sticky weed later on. Look forward to that. Now that we're back out of the berry bush, this is also new. Last time I showed you the swing seat as it was, kind of all in pieces on the patio. So this has all been fixed up. Still haven't done anything with the seats though, but as you can see here, it's mostly surface dirt, and it wasn't as bad as we originally thought. So we're very happy with that. Also set up this little hanging basket here, the fern up the side, doing that. We have another planter. This is going to be quite a long one. It's about 2 meters long, and it'll be fitting behind this planter, the back there where the nettles are, out into that corner. Over here we've got a bit of an experiment. I received a ton of rosemary from a very lovely lady on next door. It's like a kind of neighborhood forum site, so really great. I do recommend you check it out. And she had some rosemary cuttings that she didn't want. She had trimmed her rosemary tree, so after propagating as many of the end cuttings, I've just plunked the bigger wooden cuttings in the trays here, and we'll see how they do. Not all too peeved if it doesn't work out for me. Right here at the back we've got Rhubarb. This is just bits and pieces that I had growing around the garden where nobody else wanted them, and I just popped them all in the same pot and in an old recycling bin, and they've just taken off like nothing else, and I love this planter. Other people would say it's just growing weeds, but I don't mind pretty weeds, and this is a weed in the right place. I don't mind at all. Now I've planted out some St. John's wort, yarrow and some more St. John's wort from inside the greenhouse. So it's looking kind of okay. This planter, because it's raised up off the ground, doesn't get a huge amount of water, and it drains maybe too well. We've got a little tree down the side here, as well as some more rosemary. It's good. And I don't know whether we had this the last video, but a friend of mine was tossing out an old greenhouse, and I said, well, great, would love that. And I've got it all set up here. It's doing quite well. If I unzip, zips are sticking. Mine will just pull it aside. So currently I'm using it as a storage area for the braai, and then I've got some of the empty seed trays that I used earlier this year, and I kind of have a potting table set up on the side here. This is another success. So nasturtiums, they were a tiny little pot, and they've grown like wildflower in here. So much so that the poor little thyme down the side there is not doing too well. And we've got another pot over here, and this lovely little pom-pom flower, which I can never remember, Armeria, there. So, and then we've got our cherry beside here. So that's doing okay despite my worries about its early blossoming. And it's rather tricky to see, but it's back here behind the chicken house. We've got a Bramley apple in there that's been recently planted. Just an El Cheapo one from Asda, but we shall see, And over there is the garden bed that I was working on last time. I think I will probably leave that for another video, because it is an awful lot to talk about there. I'm conscious this video is already running on quite a while, and I could natter on for hours. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.